Right.
So I want to go back to you talk about what you won't do because you said, no, I'm not going to do the big stuff. If people come to you and they say, Dr. Lamb, I want this, and you think this is a terrible idea, what do you do?
So there's the discretion. So part of it is I always say I don't treat cancer or heart disease. So this is like a menu that are it's elective. So
Okay.
if it's something that I think it's so I divide things and I tell my patients this: green light, yellow light, red light. Okay, it's the easiest way to describe it. Green light means this is where you should spend the money. Yellow light means okay, you want this. To me, it's not going to give you much aesthetic benefit or social professional influence. But if you want it and you have the budget for it and you don't accuse me of wasting your money because that's really what you want, I will take care of it. And I'm going to put a caveat on that in a second. And then there's red light, which is no way in heck. Like it's not going to work. In fact, of anything, I had a lady last year that was someone that was referred by another patient of mine. She says, "Yeah, I referred this person, and she was so upset." I said, "Oh, I think I know who it is." So she came in for fat grafting, and I just said, your lips are a little full. And I'm not saying, "Hey, you look like a freak." I just, I said, "I could dissolve down a little bit if it's a little overfilled." I don't know if you know that. And she literally got up and left.
Right.
Okay. And to me, that's perfect because not that I would ever want to upset a patient or a referring patient, but I always tell my patients, look, the only patient that I don't want is someone that looks fake and wants more fake because it's not going to be a good relationship. It'll be a disaster. So I get to choose the patient as much as the patient gets to choose me. So the caveat on the yellow light is what I try to help my female patients, and hopefully this is not coming out negative, but women see little flaws. And so the other problem is not that it won't help them, is that if I can't see it, I can't fix it. And so sometimes there's a little crease here, there, and I'm like, okay, well, if that's the end point, and even though I probably could improve it, if that's what they want, I may be spending $10,000 and there's not a good enough difference.
Right.
So that's the other small caveat there.
You mentioned societal and professional benefit. Could you
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I call it a right brain result versus a left brain result. And so being an artist, we all understand what right brain is. Left brain, of course, if you're not delivering the exact things, is going to look like a bad right brain result. So technically bad facelift, technically bad blepharoplasty will obviously translate in bad right brain result. So what I try to have my patients understand is, you know, if you are happy, a lot of people say, well, look, I'm coming in because I want to be happy. And what I wanna sort of predicate that concept is to say, okay, well, if you look a little better, but no one on planet Earth can see you're better, that may not make you feel so great. However, let's take it for something else. Let's say that I do something and it may not have been on your menu list, but it said, look, here it is. And all of a sudden you're getting 5 to 10 compliments a month, but they don't know what it is. They're not saying, oh, nice rhinoplasty. They're just saying, hey, your skin looks good or whatever it may be.
Did you get a great night's sleep? You
There it
look
is.
so
You
refreshed.
can't help but feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, if someone says, "You spent $20,000 with me," and they constantly say, "Man, you look tired. What's wrong with you?" You're going, "Oh, that doctor." So, for me, it's about counseling. So I also I have another expression, I'm your facial financial advisor, because what I'm trying to do is guide you. I don't force or compel you. The only categories not allowed is fake. But if you want to spend money that it's in a way that I don't think is the wisest, I think it's gonna make a big difference. As long as you understand, I may not make an impact for you, but that's what you want, I'll let you do it. But and if I guide you here, I say, "Hey, you know what? This would really be helpful for you." You go, "Not my interest, not my cup of tea." Good, no problem. We don't need to go there. But at least if you know, I always say if there's sea bass and there's filet mignon and you're a vegetarian, well, I didn't know there was sea bass. I may want to eat a fish. I want to show you what's on the menu.
Right. Do you feel like you do a lot of counseling about happiness with people who come in? Like, is some of the reasons why they come in have nothing to do with what they're trying to fix on their face? They're really trying to fix this other thing.
It's a good question, and I can tell you that I love my mentor saying is happiness comes from within. You can't help someone being happy. So what's interesting is when I look in their eyes, if I see sadness or they're not making eye contact with me or they're very drained and they're trying to seek plastic surgery or cosmetic enhancement to help them in their life, it will do nothing of the kind. So you have to have an innate sense of self-worth and happiness. You're not going to get it with cosmetic surgery. And if you have it, I can just take you to another level. And this really it's a gradation issue. And I can see it in the eyes. I can see it in someone's soul when they come in, and it's just not training, it's just experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we talked about previously was some of the differences between what you might advise a man versus a woman.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so, for women in our society, a more youthful, face and youthful physique, whatever, is generally always applauded because it's associated with fertility, sexual attraction, things like that. With men, it's much more complicated. And so with men, the usual categories I look at for men are, if they're gay or if they're straight, and a lot of times being gay, there's a younger aesthetic for men. Are they with a much younger partner? Are they trying to seek, a advancement in their career? Or are they with much younger people? Are they a CEO of a company where they really shouldn't look that young? Here's just a great example, just to make it concrete. I had a 30-year-old gentleman, very attractive guy, and he came in for Botox. And I asked him, I said, "Look, I'm not trying to be offensive to ask your orientation, but are you gay or straight?" He says he's straight. So I said, "Okay, here's if I can help you with this. I don't think you need your wrinkles removed. I think the wrinkles, the little bit of wrinkles you have actually make you look good. If you absolutely want it, I'll do it for you, but I don't think it will enhance you in the social realm if that's what you're doing it for. Most people are." So I developed a technique in the last decade called mesobotox, which permanently I did it for my own skin. It changes the pores, texture, tone, very safe on all skin types. So I said, if you there's a fertility aspect that women are attracted to. So if I can make your skin look healthy and radiant, you will look more attractive to a woman if that's your end goal. But if I knock out your wrinkles, it may not be the case. And so I say with men, there's like a bell curve where men look a little bit better with aging and then they look worse. And so where I try to figure out is where is the top of that bell curve? For some men, if they have a much younger partner, maybe here. If they're gay, maybe here. If they just thought they looked better here, then that would be there. But I'm here to guide them with that. Or I had another example, the opposite. I had a gentleman who married to a woman relative same age, CEO, very famous CEO, doing very well. I was doing Botox with him and getting his wrinkles better. But then I thought, oh my, I think there's too few wrinkles now. We need to back off for at least 9 months. And because I don't think it aesthetically looks the best for him, given his field. So that's the kind of judgment I sort of layer into it. I don't force him. He says, look, I want more Botox. Okay, I don't think it's gonna make you look fake, but I don't think it's the best use of funds, and I don't think it's gonna make you look the best.